hello there.
Hello, how are you?
Nice to see you. RYAN TUREK, right?
That's correct.
Nice. Welcome to What's Under the Bed. For the audience, what's your name?
My name is Christopher Nelson. I'm a makeup effects artist.
Thank you. I'm Dax, by the way.
Hey, Dax, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Very cool.
My name is Summer. I am a co-host of the Dolls of Horror podcast, and I also host the panels here at Days of the Dead. You're busy doing your own panels
really
right
good.
here, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Buddy.
So, what is your name?
My name's Bacon. Bacon Pew Pew.
Bacon
Good to meet
Pew
you.
Pew.
Yes, sir.
So, what's with the name?
I used to be a corrections officer, and you know how people, they like calling people piggies, you know, stuff like that. So that's where the bacon came from, and then we just shot guns and stuff like that. So pew pew.
My name is James Moser.
My name's Logan.
I'm Sierra.
Ghostface.
My name's Six.
What brings you to Days of the Dead?
I love horror. Can you tell?
Yeah, I can.
Yeah.
My name is Richard Tanner. I'm with a Buck Short Productions locally with Atlanta, Georgia.
So, why is it called a buck short?
It's called a Buck Short because we're really, really indie. We literally are a buck short for everything we do.
Brian Porter.
What are you dressed up as?
Oh, I'm dressed as Lefty from Texas Chainsaw 2.
So, for the first question, before the influence of movies, what were you scared of as a kid? Like a monster under the bed, thing in the closet, a doll that you had, something?
My earliest memory of being terrified by something was werewolves.
Really?
I had a dream that I was, and I still remember this to this day, I had a dream that I was trapped on a train track, like at an old rail station, and getting attacked by a werewolf. I must have been like 6 years old.
Wow.
I still remember that dream. Then after that, it was the Blob. I was terrified by the Blob.
The Blob was one of my first
There's no
horror
escaping
movies.
the Blob, yeah.
That's a really good question. I was never really scared much of anything. I don't have really any memories of being scared of anything when I was a kid, except one moment when I was alone in the house. It was nighttime. I was a very young kid. And then I was downstairs. I looked up the stairs into the dark hallway upstairs, which was pitch black. And I could have swore I saw a little white face, pale face with big giant round eyes and a big weird grin staring at me. Pretty sure it was my imagination, hence what I do for a living now. But yeah, that's really it. Other than that, I've never really been scared of much.
When I was growing up, I didn't like the dark. I always had to sleep with my door open. So, and I remember when I was like 14, I finally closed it one night, and I was like, oh, this is nice. So yeah, it was probably the dark, really, and like strangers, like just random people.
Why are you doing this to us? Because you were home.
Like I don't know what that was about, but yeah.
I grew up in a very busy family. A lot of people have my mom, my dad, my sister, my brother. My sister had kids. She had 3 kids. I think the idea of being alone kind of got me more than anything else. And I think that's what strikes me even in horror films is that feeling of you're by yourself. No one's coming to help you.
You know, I don't really remember before the influence of movies what scared me as a kid. I will tell you that my first horror experience that scared me was I snuck out to the living room to watch Killer Clowns from Outer Space. I wasn't supposed to watch it.
Yeah.
And I don't remember what scene it was, but it scared me, and I ran back to my bedroom. I hid under the blankets, and I never watched it again. I was 5. 3 years later, I watched Suspiria. I was hooked for life. Poltergeist, when the guy's ripping off his face, traumatized me.
Yeah.
Not the clown, the guy ripping off his face in chunks in the sink. As an adult, though, I will tell you, I am afraid of getting lost. Like, I don't like going into the woods. I don't like going into the wilderness. I don't like taking road trips down desolate roads because I'm afraid of getting lost. No cell service. There's no help coming. That is a big fear.
I was never scared by monsters. My favorite character when I was 4 years old was Pumpkinhead. So I've always kind of loved dark things. People scared me. People were the scary things. The monsters, not so much. They were comforting in a weird way. They brought me closer to my dad.
I was actually scared of everything as a kid. I'm still terrified of everything.
You know, I think I was always scared of ghosts, and I was terrified of the dark, because you don't know what's bumping around out there.
Michael Myers.
What like scared you as a kid? Like, was there like a monster under the bed or a ghost in the attic?
Absolutely nothing.
Fair enough. Many kids are first introduced to horror through like fairy tales or myths. Is there any stories that you had as a child that you were really scared of?
Well, this will tie into question number one, Cycle of the Werewolf by Stephen King. Yeah, my dad was an avid book collector. Left a lot of books around the house. Bernie Wrightson's illustrations scared the living crap out of me. So that was, and even though I couldn't quite comprehend what that story was about because I was way too young, I still tried my best to read it, and you know, through the power of images and Bernie's work, it told me everything I needed to know about that story.
Well, The Wizard of Oz really scared me. I don't know why. That's about it. I don't know if that's really a fairy
monkeys
tale.
have been like a very infamous, scary thing.
Yeah,
so.
it was definitely that part too.
I don't know so much if it scared me, but I was always interested in Hansel and Gretel, with that witch that was definitely hungry.
My name is Gretel, and my name is Hansel.
Hansel and Gretel.
Hansel and Gretel, yep.
Creepy cannibalism, man. Also, Snow White. I mean, Heart in a Box.
Yeah.
But as much as it creeped me out, I still loved it.
Yeah.
It was awesome. And so yeah, the Grimm's Brothers. That was my jam, man.
Where the Wild Things Are was one of my favorite books, and it scared me when I was very young.
Yeah.
But then I learned to appreciate it for different reasons as I got older. But yeah, I'd say Where the Wild Things Are.
I always thought the Red Riding Hood story could have been like a really creepy story. Like, you know, you look at it and it's a real simple story, but when you really think about it, it's pretty messed up. Like, it's a messed up story. But I mean, I guess that one, a werewolf eating your grandma.
Would there be any like fairy tale or myth that you were scared of as a kid? Fair enough. Do you think more songs have been written about love, lust, or heartbreak?
That's a good question.
Wait, what?
Do you think more songs have been written about love, lust, or heartbreak?
Most songs, love, lust, or heartbreak? All three.
All three?
I don't know. You mean, do I have to pick one?
Oh, Dax.
It's always stumps people, so.
I would say love.
Care to explain?
No. Well, I mean, like, I think
they're all the same thing.
Is,
they're all weaved together. I consider all three of those things a piece of the other, so I'd say all three.
All right.
Well, I think that there are songs that you realize you're like, oh, it might be about one thing, and then you're like, oh, that's about some wife or husband or girlfriend or partner or whatever, and you're like, oh, okay. It came from a place of love.
Yeah.
But most songs, I mean, like, wouldn't you say that like most songs come from a place about love for something?
So. Yeah,
you
I'd
know?
say so.
Yeah.
It's also a matter of opinion, whereas like I always like to listen to songs about love, right?
Yeah.
And my ex would always listen to songs about lust.
Yeah.
But then everyone gets their heart broken, then we search out the heartbreak songs. But I'm going to say love, probably. Because if you consider your all genres of love songs, including Broadway show tunes, I think there's a lot.
Yeah.
A lot. Yeah. That's a really good one.
Yeah.
Dude.
Probably love, because that inspires a lot of people. So they they write about it on the front end. I think Heartbreak's probably second because that comes.
Heartbreak. Heartbreak, easy. Heartbreak. Heartbreak everywhere. From the 80s to now, it's heartbreak, all heartbreak.
Yeah.
Heartbreak, easily. Every song on the radio is about heartbreak.
Yeah.
Heartbreak.
Care to explain why you think that?
Probably just the music I listen to. I don't know. I don't think there's a specific reason. I feel like most songs are about heartbreak, though. People feel a certain type of way after they get heartbroken, and then they write a song about it.
What do you want?
Whew, that's a tough one. You know, I don't know that I have an answer for that. I know more songs about heartbreak than love, but I also listen to heavy metal, so you know, there's not a lot of love songs in heavy metal.
No, there isn't.
We got some dancing to do. Y'all know this one?
I mean, I don't know how we would prove or disprove, but I'm going with love.
How do you prefer your vampires? Monstrous nightmares like Nosferatu and Salem's Lot, flamboyant and aristocratic like Interview with a Vampire, or nocturnal party animals like the Hunger Lost Boys, or do you like teenage heartthrobs that sparkle?
No. That's a hard no.
This is the last time you'll ever see me.
My vampires. I love the aristocrat.
Yeah.
I really do.
There we go. That's a good one. So, as much as I like the Lost Boys with the party animal thing, I have to go with aristocratic. My mind is the vampire should be like Dracula, just always suave, debonair, hair slicked back. I love the classy vampire.
Sparkle.
Well, I don't like sparkly vampires. No hate to those who do. Everybody has preferences.
Yeah.
I like the Nosferatu, I think. I like the classics. Like, I want it to be scary.
Okay.
I like scary better.
Yeah.
Not sparkly.
How do I prefer them?
How do you prefer your vampires?
I prefer my vampires like Nosferatu, like a ghoul. Because vampires, I think originally are supposed to be they're in literature are ghouls.
Yeah.
They're actually dead people that are thirsting for blood to stay alive, and so I'm going for the old school. Going bless you.
Yeah, thank you.
Now I have COVID.
No,
I'm kidding.
no, wait, no.
I'm joking.
Well, it's the sparkle ones, of course. Nah, I'm playing.
I'm just sorry I let this go on for so long.
I really enjoy that movie Salem Lot.
Poor little boy. You can do nothing against the master. Back, holy man, back, shaman, back, priest.
I like my vampires looking monstrous, not sparkly. So,
Actually, my favorite vampires are from What We Do in the Shadows.
Oh.
And I like that style. The goofy, don't fit into society because they've lived too long type of.
Yeah, that's cool.
Ich bin ein Vampir. Which means I am a vampire.
Interesting story. When I was growing up, I heard a lot of people that gave Lost Boys a lot of crap. They're like, these aren't vampires. Vampires are this, vampires are that. And they were more towards like the Dracula, but I do prefer that because I like the idea of a vampire like hunting. And they're normal faced and then they change.
I like the idea just with the Lost Boys. The
Yeah,
Peter Pan
it's
story.
exactly.
All the Lost Boys are our vampires are immortal beings who stay young forever. That is a cool interpretation of Peter Pan.
It is.
We can fly!
You can fly!
We can fly!
It's kind of all the above on that one.
All right.
Now, I'm not a vampire fan.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't know. I tried watching Twilight and I couldn't make it through it.
You're just not good for me.
Do you like high school heartthrobs who sparkle?
No, I don't like that.
I won't come back.
I would say Party All Night Vampires. Lost Boys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
It's time to join the club.
I mean, if you got Gary Oldman from Dracula and dropped him into the 80s, he would party. Like Dracula is like one of Bram Stoker's Dracula is one of my favorites. So.
So nice to have you on the show.
Well, Dex, I mean, look at these folks that are on the wall. You got to speak to some incredible people. Keep up the great work.
Thank you.
I'm so thrilled that you have your own table here at Days of the Dead. Keep up the great work, man.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you as well.
Well, thank you so much
You're
for
welcome.
being on.
You're welcome. My pleasure.
Thank you.
I like your show here.
Yeah, thank you. So thank you so much for
Thank
being
you.
here. Hopefully this is just a pre-interview because
man.
I'd love to interview again.
Oh, I would love to come back whenever you want, boo. Whenever you want.
We are the Fall Horsemen. That's at the Fall Horsemen. We do spooky, goofy, vloggy kind of things. We're here just at Days of the Dead doing some vlog stuff, but we cover horror movies, we cover haunted houses, and mostly just all things Halloween. These are our people. This is our tribe here at Days of the Dead, and that's what we do. And we love meeting people that are also into horror.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for being on What's Under the Bed. That's awesome.
Thank you for having me, man.
Thank you so much for being on What's Under the Bed.
Not a problem, man. I
Had a lot of
appreciate
fun.
you. Yeah, but yeah, man. Appreciate you having me on.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Yeah.
It
Nice
was
to meet
nice
you.
to meet you.
Yes, sir.
Thank you so much, Logan. It was nice to talk to you.
Absolutely.
Yeah, thank you. Could you tell us right before we go, like, what are you dressed up as?
I'm dressed as one of the droogs from Clockwork Orange.
Oh, cool. That's awesome.
Yep. I love Stanley Kubrick, so it's one of my favorites.
Thank you so much for being on What's Under the Bed. It's a pleasure.
Thank you for having me on, man.
Thank you so much.
Appreciate it, buddy.
Thank you so much for being on What's Under the Bed.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Well, thank you so much,
Yeah,
Six.
thanks for having
so
me.
nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
Thank you so much for being on What's Under the Bed. Sorry, my brain decided not to work at that moment. Thank you so much. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
By the way,
Yeah.
I am looking for a woman named Sydney Prescott. Have you know where she is by any chance?